Hello students, in this video we will be learning JavaScript variables. As a part of JavaScript basics, let's discuss variables. Unlike other programming languages like Java and C++, JavaScript allows us to declare variables using these three ways. That is by using let, var, const. In other programming languages like Java, we are supposed to mention the data type of the value that we are going to use for that particular variable. For example, int a, that means a can a can contain an integer value. Okay. Same goes with other data types like double, where we can have real values. But JavaScript, since JavaScript being a loosely typed language, it allows us to use let, var and const to declare the variables. See, here I need not mention any data type. I've just used let, var and const. So let's look at a basic example to understand how these methods work. Let's start off with var. Var being the traditional way of declaring variables, let's discuss var. In JavaScript, when we use var, it means this particular variable is a function scoped or a globally scoped variable. The variable that is declared using var is hoisted. By the term called hoisted, I mean these are declared at the top of that function. Okay, so these are globally declared. And here, since we have not discussed what is console.log so far, console.log is a method that allows us to print values on the web console. We can use console.log method for debugging purposes. It allows the JavaScript developers to print values on the web console. So here in this case, the output would be 5. Now, in order to understand much deeper, let's look at the second example. Here we have a function, okay, function, example function. Anyways, we will be learning about functions in the coming classes in detail. That's a different story. We'll get there eventually. But here let's talk about functions. Okay. So, as you can see here, I have a function called example function. Now, how is it defined? It is defined with the keyword function. So, this is the method that we use functions in JavaScript, in which we have a variable called var y equals to 10. Then what are we doing? We are printing the same y value. It had printed 10. Okay. Now, this is the point where I am calling the example function. This is the calling function, guys. And below the calling function, I have tried to print the same variable y, and y being confined to the function block, it cannot be used outside the function block, and we get an error that says uncaught reference error, and the message we get here is y is not defined. Okay. So, look at the example once again. We have declared a variable and initialized it with 10. We have used var to initialize that variable. Then we have printed y value and its output is 10. Now, we have printed the same y value, we tried to print the same 10 outside the function block. We got an error and it says y is not defined because we should not call it as a method. I have used var to declare y, so this has become block specific. Okay. So now let's look at another way of declaring variables, that is by using let. Here I have used let. Let, unlike var, does not hoist the variables onto the top. Let can be used within a function, let can be used for an expression, let can also be used for a block. So this example explains you the best. Look carefully, we have a variable called a equals to 1. The value inside the variable a is 1, and I have used let to declare this variable. Then I have a simple condition, if true, what it says, let a equals to 2. So I am using the same variable name again with a different value, and here this a is separate from the outer a. So this a is different from the outer a. Then I have printed a, the output would be 2. Then after the condition block, after the if condition block, I have printed console.log a, and the output is 1. So with this example, what did we understand? Let allows us to independently declare variables based on the purpose and the place. I can use the same variable let a within the condition block and outside the condition block. So this let is block specific, it is not global, unlike var. Okay. Now lastly, we will talk about const. Now const has to be used, or we can say const should be used when you think the value of the variable does not change throughout the scope or throughout the block. If the value of this variable, which is 3, changes, then we would get an error because we have used const. So it is constant. Okay, const is short for constant. Console.log b, the output is 3. Then if I say b equals to 4 within the same block, if I say b equals to 4, which is a constant, then I might get uncaught type error, and the message would be assignment to constant variable. So that means I am trying to assign a different value to a constant variable. Okay. So it is a very simple topic, it's very easy to understand, and with practice you will get it. Then there is another part to this. Suppose if we have an object in JavaScript, objects have values based on key and value structure. Okay. In JavaScript, objects possess values based on the keys. Okay. So if an object is assigned values using the const type, then it may change its value. Okay. So objects have a little exemption here. In this example, it is clearly understood. So we have a const object, which is an object, and what are we trying to put? We are trying to put a key and a value, and this value could be anything. Now object.key equals to new value. This is the value of value. Okay. This is allowed since I've changed it already, and console.log object.key, what it says, it outputs new value. So here there was value and here I've changed it, and this is allowed. Then if I remove these key colon value, if I remove the values and if I try to print the empty object, then we will get an error that says uncaught type error colon assignment to constant variable. Okay. So, let and const have been introduced in ES6, that is ECMAScript 6. We have discussed about the origins and we have discussed about the other basics in the first video, and in this video we have discussed about the variables. In the coming videos we will talk about how strings are used in JavaScript and what are the different concepts that come from strings. Okay, we'll meet in the next video. Thank you.